Vanshika, thank you, Sapna and Mandeep, for organizing this. As typically asked at most of the sessions, it is voice audible, and I think so that it should be. Great, thank you very much. Pleasure meeting you guys, and it's always pleasure to connect with young people like you and interactions because that gives a lot of energy whenever what and whatever we are saying. Thank you for that. Digital transformation is something which is very, very interesting topic to talk about, and understanding that how digital has been moving. A very specific quote which I usually talk to people, that digital is not just about managing things, but it is also becomes a part of our life. So it is like when we talk about digitizations, we typically talks about how digitization has disrupting our lives and how digitization has managed to be a part of our day-to-day life and bridging the gap and timelines between our personal and our official timings. And that's what a very, very important factor is. Now, probably it's a little joke which is here, which is when digital transformation is done, it's basically like making a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, and it's a beautiful butterfly. But if it goes wrong, it's a really fast caterpillar, which is going to be moving on. So it is very, very important that when we are talking about digital movements, we keep these factors in our mind and see where and how we are moving across. Now, as students, you guys, most of you, if I'm not wrong, are from the management colleges. You will be starting with your management work and jobs very, very soon. And couple of them who are into the teaching lines are already into that profession. So what exactly when we're talking about digitizations means? A very basic example. We wake up in the morning, our alarms are generally on mobile phones. Gone are the old alarm clocks. We have our digital toothbrushes, which have electronic toothbrushes and electronic shavers. We have our Alexas and Google Homes. We're going to be switching on the fans, lights, etc. through that, or probably we're going to start up listening to our favorite songs. Uh, we then sit with our laptops, desktops, etc., and start our meetings in terms of calls, meetings, video calls, emails we type. This is all digitizations. This is all moving across. Another, what typically I say, I'm sorry, I'm from an older generation. So I says we have seen landlines. We used to use landlines. So we from a landline we moved to a mobile phone, which never has to have a data, where incoming calls was also charged. From there we moved to smartphones, and then we started having a 2G connection, a 3G connection, and today we are talking about a 5G connection. So that's when we moving across from a normal world to a digital world. Now, what are the typical uh, ways of steps which we are talking about when we are moving from a normal world to a digital world is what? Uh, One important factor is when we say talent development. Now, talent development, since I'm not very sure, since you guys from a different streams, I'm assuming so. Talent development primarily works on working on your own talent, and as well as working to develop the people who are with you, above you, and below you. Right? Probably in your first jobs, you may not have people with below you, but above you and with you definitely is something which is an important factor to be looking at. Then you need to see the skills which is required to work in a digital world. Uh, all of you are pretty, I'm very sure, are quite digitally savvy in terms of using our mobile phones, laptops, etc. But yes, there are more technical competencies which you need to work on for a specific, I will say, softwares, etc. Changing the skills. You have done a lot of reading while you were doing your college. But the moment you goes to a corporate world, probably all the readings of the college will not work. And I'm telling it to you right on your face, saying that what all you have read in your in your studies, you may not be having it. So you need to work on the specific skill sets which is required for that organization, and then creating that digital surroundings for you. So what are the typical attributes or typical transformations which a person should be looking at? So it's looking at the future, which is primarily works on AI and Internet of Things and smart everything. Now, AI, I'm sure people would have bogged down with a lot of information to you that artificial intelligence this, artificial intelligence that, but Internet of Things is something which is going to be transforming more than artificial intelligence. Why so? Because Internet of Things is to your laptop, to your desktops, and half the appliances of your house is going to be connected. Your all data is going to be connected to your Google. Your entire presentation is going to be connected to your Google. It is people who become the center of everything. We always say technology becomes the most important factor. No, but people will still remains the center of everything. Understanding that without people, the technology is of no use. So people will be a part of the complete things. Then there are a lot of data analysis and data management will be done. Every decision which an organization is going to be taking will be based on data. So even right from talent development strategies, hiring strategies, HR strategies, marketing strategies, sales strategies, anything that is data. So moving from a big data to data analysis, data crunching, etc., is a key skill which a person should be looking at. Then transformations and shifting the older generation of people to a digital world. Fair enough. At my age, yes, I'm quite digitally savvy, but there are people at a little higher than my age also working in the companies. Now, not all of them are very digitally savvy. That's when a person needed to be moving on from to a newer trends. While there was a survey which was happening for L&D and HR professionals, and was says how much digital learnings is going to be impacting an organization. 39% people was talking about that digital transformations and digital learning will be the only learnings which will happen in the near future. That means it will move away from the traditional classroom sessions to digital. Now today, even you can see today that ideally these kind of sessions which Sapna was talking about is generally happens in the seminar hall when all of us sitting and we can see you face to face. But today we are sitting in a digital world, and there's close to what, around 300 people sitting across, and we are chatting. And you people can be across India anywhere. You do not have to be at present one place. That's uh, one important understanding and learning which is happening. So that's what organizations is talking about. Almost 32% has said that they are now moving across to the right LMS systems. That a lot of companies they never had a very strong LMS learning management system digital way. So they used to have more uh, from a from a more realistic perspective. And 40% is saying that this digitizations and this way of communication will help them to improve communications with people. Now imagine 10 years or 15 years earlier, I have to send across the communications. There was only two ways to send across some communications, to either visit personally and then communicate, or send across an email and expecting the management of that place or manager of that place to communicate to employees, and where information can be distorted. Now today it is much easier. I can sit at my place and just talk about it. So that's what digitization is, which it's changing across. Uh, a typical skills which we say is what are the digital skills as a students which you need to look at from a perspective from your long term is, yes, one is expert data analysis, which is big data, which is disruptive analytics, predictive analysis, diagnostic analysis, and prescriptive analysis. Now, this is completely based on the data, which talks about different segments, which is says when it comes to descriptive, what happened, and giving analysis to that. Diagnostic is going a little deep inside a specific thing and understanding what exactly is happening. Predictive is when you plan in future, and prescriptive is when you define and tell your management chain that this is what has been trending, this is my deep dive analysis, this is what I prescribe, and this is going to be the future trend of the organization. That's a very, very important skill. And there are a lot of courses which is right now coming on data analysis. Second, social selling. Uh, how many times today a person comes across to you and say, and talking about a selling of a document or selling of a certain, it's more social media. It is more talking through phones and giving this information through phones or emails or social media marketing, etc., which is happening. Key skills, because that's going to be moving from a cold call and sales to a value based selling. Now, understanding today, there's a huge opportunities for you to pick up a thing. Whenever a customer is looking for us for a thing, let's say for an example, you have to go and buy a mobile phone. Will you go to just one shop, pick up the mobile which he talks about and comes back? No. You probably have done your research online. You have only seen 2, 3 websites. You have a complete analysis of which all phones which you can buy, what all the what are the features which you're looking at, and you probably go and buy it at where you could get a value for money, value for the product which you buy, right? So that's when it comes to advanced solutions. Third is mobile expertise. Uh, you all guys knows how to use mobiles, but today everything's mobile first. Being people from Gen Z, people who are loving to work on a gig economy, will look at the things which is more mobile specific and not just a desktop or a laptop specific. So it will help. So any organization, and I'm talking about you, will be joining into an organization at a later stage, looking at mobile enterprise and or mobile expertise as one of the key skills to pick up and ensure that you are able to deliver to that organization, because the most important thing is giving the right delivery to an organization. Multiple platforms into a user interface and designs. A person is more comfortable where he's either going more often, or secondly, it is more comfortable to look and feel. Example here, recently, about around 2 months back, LinkedIn has changed is not even 2 months, 1.5 months back. LinkedIn's changed the look and feel of LinkedIn, made it little more comfortable, little more cozy, little more rounds, etc. Why it was being done? Primarily to ensure the user interface and the way a person looks at in LinkedIn or any other software is is very comfortable. Now, is there a difference between LinkedIn on a laptop and a LinkedIn on a mobile? Probably not, because the user interface, the way they put it across is exactly same. And that's what you also need to learn, that the user interface has to be very fine. Fifth, networking and information systems. Uh, Again, a very important factor. No need to for you to be learning networking in terms of from a Cisco networking set first. Not really required. Those who wanted to get into technology, probably they will, but not all of you. But when I'm saying networking, information security is securing your own data, the way you use your data in your mobile phones and your laptops, the way you share your data with everyone else, and networking in terms of network solutions in your own house, your Wi-Fi is your mobile phones data, etc. How secure it is, and is anyone is able to hack that? That's a skill which is you need to learn, and it's a practical skill which you need to learn. Very important skill which you need to learn. And sixth one is creative thinking. Uh, why creative thinking? So when we are moving to digital world, everyone is available, but creative thinking is something which will ensure that you are running the right thing. I'll take an example. Just around 2 weeks back, Google has changed the way it looks like, and it has picked up the 3, 4 colors which Google uses for the entire transformation, and suddenly started looking a little more peppy, a little more interesting to look at. and you tend to go there. So that's creative thinking. While we are talking about Google, I will talk about Google a little more in this process. What Google gives you is everything. Everything today, it typically says you're slaves of Google. Absolutely. Your email ID is on Google. Your contacts are on Google. Um, your PPTs, your voicemails, your maps, your chats, your video calls, websites, your news, ad, postcard, podcast, your forms, everything is available today in Google. Everything. Now, when everything's Google, Google practically knows what you are doing and what exactly is happening. Now, will you allow everything so that, okay, that's absolutely fine. How does it matter? Today, it doesn't probably matters much to you. But the moment you move into the corporate world, it does matters because what goes into Google, someone can read it, someone can analyze it. So digital also have a flip side that which you need to look at. So think about that. Seventh pointer when I'm talking about is communication skills. Now, communications uh, is not just about sending across an email or sending across a chat messages, but a lot of communications today happens through social media. There's a lot of communication which happens through these integrated systems, which integrate your social media, your office work, as well as your personal life. So that communication skills. Then uh, teamwork and integrity is something which is and sorry, integrity, not flexibility, is something which you need to look at because uh, that skill will help you to deliver your subject and your things in a far more systematic and systematic ways. An important factor which is and the last point which I'm talking about from a digital skills level is digital thinking. Now, what exactly do you mean by digital thinking? Is primarily uh, picking up everything into a digital world, which helps you to enhance your life, which helps you to enhance and increase your productivity, performance, and also helps you to deliver things at a much faster pace. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for any persons to work out. Now, what I typically work when you are moving from a normal world to a digital world and how the transformation is happening, I typically use a short form which is AD Kar, which typically talks about, so whenever you're moving from a normal world to a digital world, and especially at when in the job level, is one, awareness, which is awareness of what you are trying to do and where you are trying to move across. D is having a desire to move there. People who are not very desirable, just let it be just like that. That's okay. Third, K, knowledge of where and how you are moving across in terms of what are the platforms which you need to use, what are the functions we're going to pick it up, and that's knowledge. A is ability, which is uplifting the ability of current people or hiring from outside to ensure that they are able to pick it up and do and deliver. And K and last is R, which is reinforcement and of the digital technologies into the work into the company. So ADKAR is something which will define a lot of things for you. And that's what I wanted to talk about when we are primarily talking about digital transformations and a change, and how digitalizations are making a lot of change in your day-to-day life. Over to you guys. Thank you.